Hello to anybody jumping in. We'll go ahead and get started here in just a little bit. Just gonna give everybody a little bit to jump on here. Just gonna be talking about, want to highlight some of the opportunities that came through this week and even last week, namely Tesla and AMC. But for the most part, it's really just been kind of, you know, the market as a whole. So I'll dive into all of it once we get a little more people in here. But definitely need to talk about SPY and the overall market, kind of what's going on right now. As you can see, pretty ugly price action this week after the sell off below the 20 days. So definitely we need to address that. See what's popping with Discord. What time we got? Let's see. We got 9:01. Give it a little bit more here. Let me go ahead and put it in Titan as well. All right, cool. We got that out. Let's see what's going on here. One person. We got to get these numbers up. Here we go. We got some people jumping in now. All right, guys. So let that message I just put out settle for a second, and then we'll get rolling right into things here. I was pretty excited about this week, and then not so much because of this right here. I mean, you can still trade the range, but didn't really come down to the 50. Can't really reclaim the 20. This reminds me of, when did this happen? I mean, we really haven't had a 50-day test like this. Usually it's pretty volatile and then a big bounce right back to the upside. I think the current market is trying to digest everything that's going on in the news right now because we've had weak economic numbers. And, I think the big thing is everyone's kind of trying to assess what is going on with the Delta variant. How severe is this? Is this something to really be concerned about, or is it something that is kind of getting brushed off? We have a lot of government benefits for unemployment, a lot of subsidies that are expiring. So all these things kind of happening at once. The entire market's trying to digest it. But let's go and let's dive in here. So obviously, as I talked about, right now, not a time to be aggressive. Right, we're kind of trapped below. As I talked about, I've been saying, in the idea flow, that we need to reclaim the 20-day for upside. Looking at the S&P 500 chart. Because obviously just looking at this consolidation here, and if you look at the overall trend, when we're trading above the 20, we're in a healthy uptrend. And when we are stuck below the 20, we still have room down to the 50, right? So we're kind of pinballing here. And until the bulls put in enough juice to push SPY and the overall market back up to new highs, we're going to be trading in this range. And this isn't a bullish range, this isn't a bearish range, this is just a wait and see kind of cat and mouse type deal right at the moment. Now, with that being said, we did recently just incur that cross below the 20-day where we had some very nice short opportunities. And I want to dive through that with charts plus flow. And I want to kick it off with Tesla. Very, very obviously a nasty wick down to the 20, quickly defended it and catapulted back up. But it was before that, right? So any of you traders newer to TitanFlow, if you go back through the most recent 4 videos uploaded to the YouTube, I talk about with TitanFlow, we're trying to catch the beginning of the middle of a trend based on institutional insight rather than the end of a trend, right? We don't want to be the last people in. We're not trying to short it down here. We're trying to short it here. Okay, and we're trying to gain a sort of game plan and some insight into what are the institutions doing with Tesla. And so now let me shift over to TitanFlow, and I am going back to September 10th. Okay, actually last Friday. I'm going to correlate everything that I do in TitanFlow with the chart because anything I'm doing with trading, I'm always correlating. I'm putting both pieces of the puzzle together. I'm looking at the institutional data from TitanFlow and I'm looking at my charts to confirm what the institutions are doing and vice versa. I'm looking for my charts to confirm, looking for the flow to confirm. And so when I go back to September 10th here, last Friday, if we're looking at the chart here, there was this big sell-off here. And so I instantly see red action on Friday and I'm looking at Tesla. And if we focus on the bought puts that were out of the money, some very aggressive action towards the end of the day, right? You have 670 puts and keep in mind the spot price. We're at 750 at this point, right? This is about halfway through the sell-off. And from a charting standpoint, we get back to September 10th here. Basically this day right here, right? This price action. I'm looking at this and we break the trend of defending the 20-day and the 50-day, right? And once we begin that cross below the 50, this is the last hour of open, keep in mind. If you guys remember last Friday, the overall market, very, very aggressive selling. And we'll go back and we'll look at the S&P 500 chart, but last hour of the trading session on Friday, very, very aggressive selling. The bears were just relentless, right? Pushing the overall market down. And we can see about the last hour of flow that comes in here from 255 to close, very far out of the money. I mean, you're talking 650 strike puts a week out, right? With a spot price of 735, they're buying 650 strike price. It's very aggressive. 675, 685, 590, even though it's a small order. We have that large order for 710 puts. We have the 670 puts. Okay, pretty interesting. So now I'm not fully convinced to shift to downside mindset until Monday's data, right? And at this point, you could have felt good about taking puts, except we closed right on that 100-day. And again, you're thinking, all right, there's still room to bounce back. And now we shift to Monday, so the first day of this week. We're looking at out of the money again. We're looking at bought puts. And pretty much right out the gate, we get that 636K order. Right, and then it's just all hell breaks loose. We trade all the way down to our 20-day before bouncing back. So at all these points, right, I'm trading, I'm looking at the cross below the 50. I'm ready to scalp it down to the 100. I'm looking at the cross below the 100. Now I'm ready to trade it down to the 200. That's good, but I want to know what were the institutions doing at the same time. And I had that confirmation from Friday. They were gearing up, most likely swinging over the weekend into the Monday sell-off. We saw those massive orders, and then we see again around noon, right? So this chart starts to break down in that first hour here, and we see in the first hour we have that 636K order, 145K order, 288K, and then as it starts to bounce back, we see the orders start to get smaller and we start to see them disappear, right? And so that's our signal that institutions are most likely done with this unless they somehow reject here and then push below the 200-day, which clearly did not happen. And we didn't see much more put flow come in on Tesla. It traded right back up to the highs. But in the meantime, we had that massive range break from 740 down to 715. Very nice move in really in the span of one day since it was the last hour of Friday. And so that was, to me, just looking at the overall market, that was one of the most impressive moves to the downside and talking big overall market names that correlated with SPY. And another one that I want to discuss is going to be AMC, and I want to talk about this big break from 52. And what was really interesting about this one is it was just like Tesla. It didn't really happen. You didn't really see the move until the next day, and then it started to make sense why the sweepers were doing what they were doing the day before. And this move happened on September 14th. So what was that, this Tuesday? Yeah, this Tuesday. Look for AMC puts. By the way, guys, if you're ever looking for previous flow, actually probably an easier way of doing it, probably just preference. If you're just looking for one day, you can use the snapshot page. But if you want to look for a range of days, use the historical search on the flow page. It's going to be the middle column at the bottom. And you just type in your ticker, and I'm looking at September 14th, AMC. I'm looking for those out of the money. Actually, in this, I'll explain in a minute. But I'm looking for bought puts. And I see this massive 797K order and a 950K order that came in right towards the peak of that sell-off pretty much, right? So when I go back to my chart from September 14th, similar trend to Tesla, right? But in this scenario, we actually traded up close to our top here. And now something to keep in mind with AMC that if any of you guys have been using TitanFlow since, a couple months back when AMC was going crazy, it still goes crazy every now and then, but not the way it did before, right? When it went up 100% in a day and then just absolutely crashed. But we're seeing here trades up to the top of our resistance, right? Using my technical analysis, I'm seeing it's trading up to the top of the trading range, right? And that is the day before. Now, the next day, as these massive orders started to come in, and as I was talking about, as I was getting ready to say with AMC, whenever you start to see orders come in over 500K, you can expect a large move. Okay, because there's an institution that knows something that is very, very feeling very confident in whichever way they are trading. In this case, we have a 950K order and a 797K order around 11 o'clock. So let's see what happens on that 11 o'clock candle. Well, we keep rejecting our 20-day, and inevitably around 12, 1 o'clock, we cross below the 50, and pretty much the bulls give up after that. It's just a straight move from 49.5 to 47, and from the peak of the move, 51 to 47, huge move on AMC. So I definitely wanted to highlight that, and I want you guys to keep that on your radar. Whenever you guys have your alerts set, and anytime the name AMC comes up, and you start seeing 400, 500, 600K orders, $1 million orders, pull up the chart and see what's going on with this name, because I guarantee you 99% of the time something is going on with AMC when you see that kind of flow come through. Now, obviously, it was another scenario where we had a cross below the 50 and traded all the way by the next trading day down to the 200 for a total move from about 51 down to 44. Very nice move. Very, very highly profitable move. Again, we're looking at the daily chart. We come all the way down to our resistance point. So at that point, we can feel pretty comfortable about selling since we trade all the way down to our area of support. Now, those were just two scenarios I wanted to highlight. There was a lot of nice opportunities, but I thought it was worth going over those two in particular. And again, it's just about trading the market, right? So I'm always looking at my technical analysis, and as I'm seeing the market shift bearish, crossing below the 20, now I'm hunting, right? I'm on the hunt. My mindset is bearish now. And now it's just a matter of finding stocks with relative weakness. And in this case, this week and last Friday, it was Tesla and AMC. All right, guys, that's my overall spiel. At this point, any questions at all? Or, I have the app pulled up here. So if there's anything you're confused about with the app, I can actually live demo it for you guys. Question mark, question mark, question mark. What's going on? Hello? Any questions, guys? Anything you want me to go back over? All right, guys. Well, if we're all good, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Just keep in mind tomorrow, just to close things out, the line in the sand is drawn. We need to move down to the 50, or we need to break above this 20 or reject this 20 within this range, right? I don't feel comfortable buying up here when the market has shown me the past 4 days it is not willing to break out above this range. So I'm not gonna buy right here and then get drawn down and be down while it's still within the range. This might be a good opportunity to short, but again, at any moment, bulls could decide to pick it up. So for now, I'm shorting light right here and I'm buying light down here. Again, I'm not going to short down here because we can very easily, within this trend, bounce right back up to the 20-day. So at this point, it's all about bounces and rejections. Not really too confident in any breakout setups at the moment until either the bulls push to the upside or the bears decide to come down to the 50 and possibly even push the market lower if any crazy headlines come out. That's going to wrap it up overall, guys. So everybody have a good night, and any questions, hop into the Discord and let us know. All right. Have a good night, everybody.